on a day like this. 2.4 kilometres to go, 31 seconds, and it's breaking down behind as everybody else just realises that they've got to do something. 30 seconds, it'll be about the margin. I suspect it may well be 20 or even under that by the time we cross the line, courtesy of the chase. It depends who's involved, because these guys are now starting to play a strategic game, and you can see Steindevolder almost cruising momentarily as Kristoff looks over his shoulder and wonder who's where. Who's where? The answer will be at the line only, with just over 2 kilometres to go and 28 seconds. The time is tumbling down, 27 seconds now.
Yeah, they got to keep the pace going as the attacks from the peloton is starting to bring them back. Christian Kne is getting on the front in the peloton there, as well as the B is putting the pressure on in the front group. Although Kristoff is really being very cagey at the moment. Well,
cagey at the moment, but you've got to go to it at some time. And Bystrom it is that puts in an absolute extra kick right now as he takes this turn. 1.8 to go. Let's talk you in, shall we? That's 1.8. There's another little left-hand kink. Then you'll go under the Flamme Rouge. You'll take a gentle right, a severe left, and then we turn right on as the course loops back onto itself. Essentially, it's a big banana curve, a smooth 90-degree, if you understand. 1.5 kilometres to go, and 25 seconds is the gap.
Well, on that right-hand turn, you need to be coming through front row, because it is so fast and really quite a technical right-hander. So the sprint is done into that corner, and it's around about 300 metres from the line. So front row going across that right-hander.
Dubai staying in touch with Bystrom from Katusha out front. Bystrom just constantly varying the pace. It's interesting as well to see Steindevolder just dabbing on the brakes when he didn't need to, just doing a little stoppy and then kicking off again, just trying to destabilise Alexander Kristoff. Meanwhile, behind that is Lars Bak, just one off Derbyshire as it stands at the moment. Derbyshire in the Belgian tricolour. What's he got at the very last here? And it's he that's going to pick up and maybe just inject a little bit of pace very, very late on. And it is very late right now.
It is very late. You need to make the attack now if you're going to go for it. At the moment, everyone is playing towards Alexander Kristoff. They're playing straight into his hands.
Well, if that's the case, it looks likely that he is our man. They take this left-hander, and then there's that high-speed right. You can see it beckoning at the top of the road as the crowd are standing waiting to welcome them. And it is the B that goes up to the front right now. And as he got the pace, Steindevolder stays with him, but in so doing they drag Kristoff along with them. Kristoff in third place at the moment, ahead of the Belgian champion Derbyshire. So they make this turn. Lars Bak at the back with a full view of everything. He's got the best view in the house right now, but so have you. And Derbyshire starts to go to the barriers. Kristoff's there as well. Kristoff just lighting it up. Derbyshire stays with him. Could he possibly get back at the end here? 25 minutes to go. It's going to be Kristoff. He bashes his chest like a gorilla almost. The silverback performance as he takes gold on the day here at the 3 days of Japan. And now we wait. This gap is going to be crucial. 10, 11, you can see it. The readout. It's well worth racing for this, because this is about how it spins out for the rest of this race. So the line beckons, and Damar's going over the French champion. It's not that much of a gap by the looks of things, is it? Well, it is. 33 seconds now back to a whole raft of talent that crosses the line. But Alexander Kristoff takes the day for Katusha. He's getting used to this.
Definitely getting used to this. Interesting to see two Norwegian riders in the front group. They're working really well as well together, but I think the Lotto Soudal riders made a bit of a tactical error coming into that sprint. They needed to have gone before the actual right-hand turn. If you waited until afterwards, it was only one man really that was going to win that, and that was Kristoff. They could have done with a big attack at some point.
Well, what you can do with and what you're actually left with is something else. Unfortunately, the break, we're left with a very, very adept man indeed. Alexander Kristoff, the great Norwegian, turned on the Viking style. Milan-San Remo, the Vattenfall Classics from last year, and well, he's had his fun, hasn't he? He's been on great form. He was in Paris-Nice, as you know. He's runner-up Milan-San Remo this year. but he's got this victory on the 3 days of Japan, and what a way to open your account.
Yeah, it was a great move by Kristoff. He got the better of De Boucher right coming out of that corner, and it is a fast sprint, slightly downhill, and a bit of tailwind as well. So you need to open up that sprint very early. Certainly, if you don't pack the punch that Kristoff does, and what a move by all of these riders. I got to say that was a classy display from Katusha and Lotto Soudal, the way they put riders in the front all the time. So that will give them some confidence going in towards Tour of Flanders on the weekend as well.
Oh, we're looking forward to it. Hope you are too. You're going to be in Flanders yourself,
yes,
Magnus.
Definitely.
Me too. I'm very much looking forward to it. I think Magnus is playing away that particular weekend, but be myself and Sean Kelly for those viewers on Eurosport. There we are. So shrouded in cloud right now, and I guess some misery as well for some of those who are finishing further down the line. There's going to be some big gaps at the end of today.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few big gaps from some of the riders getting caught out in early crosswind sections, etc. And obviously, racing in Belgium, there's been a couple of punctures here and there that's left the riders adrift.
Alexander Kristoff takes the day ahead of Derbyshire, Steindewalde, Sean de Bay finishing in fourth place ahead of back. Bystrom led him in. Demar, Modolo and Spragli, but look at the gaps, 32 seconds and more from position 7 backwards. And don't forget 10-second bonus at the line as well, going to Alexander Kristoff. We've seen day one winners win this before. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again.
Even opgefrist. Alexander Kristoff, that was a really nice win. Tell us what happened really in the end.
Yeah, I came a little bit too far on Hahuk on the last lap, and then at Leberg it break apart. And then I saw we had Sven in front, but I know he don't really have the best sprint, so it was not perfect, but he did a very good race. And then I told the other guys to keep it close, and then I could bridge up in Berendries, and I made it back to the first group. And then we worked full gas all the way to the finish to keep the gap. And yeah, I was not really sure because the Belgian champion is a fast guy, and he was not pulling, so I did not know how fresh he was at the end. But yeah, at the end I could take him quite clear, and yeah, it was a nice win, really.
Describe that sprint, please. At about 250 meters, the Busser made this move, but you reacted immediately.
Yeah, I was here, went just when I want to go, so we went at the same time, but I just could have a little bit, I had a little bit more speed in the legs at the end, so I could take him.
So how about GC? Are you thinking of winning this thing?
It was not the plan this morning, but you'll see how it is after tomorrow and the first day and the last day.
There you see the finish. Can you give some commentary?
Yeah, it's really fast in the downhill sprint, and I was sitting most of it. So yeah, you see all the guys were pretty cooked at the end. So I managed to get a few meters.
Do you needed this win with Flanders and Roubaix in mind?
Not really, because I won already a lot this year, so I'm quite confident. But of course, it never hurt to win an extra victory, and I'm really happy now. We had a really good classic campaign so far, and continues today at a very good level with the whole team. We were all the time there in the front, and I felt maybe it was the best team effort we had.